Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Dychronic, your host here on this Destiny 2 video, and today we're going to be taking a look at these Zerg's inventories, random rolls, my recommendations, and all that whatnot for November 27th, 2020. Yesterday was the American Thanksgiving, so yay! I released a fun video yesterday, so go check that out. You can find the Zerg in his regular location in the tower, so just head over to the courtyard, make your way into the top left section of the hangar, and you can find the Zerg right here next to the beautiful view of the mountains. Oh, yeah, no, okay. So if you do the exotic cipher quest, you go back to Xur and you get deciphered, which we will obviously just blow right away. This is a high overview of everything that he does have available in case this is all you cared about. Just as a note here, I completed the Zerg quest last week and it got consumed this week. First and foremost, for the weapon today, we have the Hard Light, which looks a lot more purple than I remember it, but it's also probably because I usually have an ornament on it. But the Hard Light auto rifle, actually a pretty good weapon in the Crucible. It fell off from its #1 position a couple seasons ago because of some changes to its infinite range down to a 0.7 infinite range. But either way, it's still a pretty good weapon, good stability, good amount of magazine, good rounds per minute. It's still a good weapon to use, but perhaps not better than the non-hunger and using another exotic. If you've never heard of it before, Volatile Light, rounds fired from this weapon have reduced damage fall off instead of infinite range, overpenetrate targets, and ricochet off hard surfaces, and the ricochet does a lot less damage than it used to. The other perk allows you to just cycle between the different types of damage. This is more of a PvE style of things. Everything else is pretty straightforward, polygonal, alloy, and of course composite stock. Honestly, I'm a little bit surprised by how infrequently you see this thing in the Crucible. Obviously, again, it's not the same. It doesn't have any extra damage perks like a lot of the other weapons, but once you get the Catalyst, you max out its stability stat. Again, a much larger magazine than some of the other 600 RPMs, and it also has just in general exotic style stats. And out of all of the auto rifles, because of this reduced damage fall off, it has some of the highest of any 600 auto, so I'm a little confused why people don't really use it more. Up next for the Hunter exotic today, we have the Khepri's Sting. It's an interesting exotic. I think it was very close to being my top 10, if not in my top 10 for Hunter exotics last season. If you've never heard of it, Touch of Venom, punching somebody with a full melee energy instantly casts a smoke bomb. You don't actually have to throw the smoke bomb, you just have to get that punch off, which means you don't actually use that melee energy. And with that, you also get True Sight while in your smoke bomb effect, which is basically being able to see through walls, silhouettes of enemies, and your smoke bombs deal increased damage, where they get very close to being able to kill an enemy by itself. Now here's the big thing about it. You're not really going to be getting this smoke bomb while you're punching an enemy unless you're finishing off an enemy and then handling his teammates behind them. The biggest thing is just using your smoke bombs to make it so you can see enemies through walls, and this is very strong. So strong that I have heard that this thing is actually banned in a lot of tournaments. As far as the roll goes, you'd like to see a lot of recovery and a lot of strength. Obviously, it does have that recovery aspect, but it is a little bit lacking in strength. So it's kind of a so-so roll. I guess you would also like to see more mobility because you'd probably get the gambler's dodge to get more melee stuff. So overall, not the best roll you can have on it, but and also it's a 59 roll, so not really, again, the best. For the Titan exotic today, we have the Lion Rampant. Basically, these are going to be your super float, your super jump, and your super speed boots. It provides additional aerial maneuverability and enables accurate hipfire while you're in the air during lift. My buddy Zoomzy, the PvP gameplay that you see from my channel for the last like 4 or 5 months, he almost always uses Lion Rampants, and it's extremely useful in PvP and PvE alike. As far as the roll goes, in this particular exotic, you'd like to see a high mobility, a high recovery. It seems to have a lot of strength, which is not terrible considering it is kind of a speed boots. Getting that extra speed is something that usually you want for melee build, but personally, I would like mobility and recovery. So it's kind of, again, kind of a so-so roll, but it doesn't have that much resilience, so it's pretty good either way. Oh yeah, and it does have an ornament. Like, check it out. It looks exactly the same. And finally, for the Warlock exotic, we have the Phoenix Protocol. In my opinion, the #1 Warlock exotic in the game. Now, I have not gone over those spreadsheets yet this season, but that's how it was last season, because the ability to give yourself more wells during a Grandmaster Nightfall is very strong. If you've never heard of it before, kills and assists that you make while standing in your Well of Radiance return super energy. So it no longer includes your enemy's kills, so it no longer includes your allies' kills unless you're actually assisting them in making those kills. So you actually still have to do it. It does not just depend on your teammates. As far as the roll goes, honestly, I'd like to say this is a pretty good roll. With this particular exotic, you'd like to see things like intellect and probably recovery, considering it's a Warlock and recovery is always nice. And you also have a bit of mobility, which I also like. So an excellent roll, a pretty good total stats on an exotic that, oh, I didn't even know it had an ornament. I did not know. It has, in my opinion, probably one of the worst coloring schemes. It's hard to make this one look good. But yeah, that is going to be the end of the Xur video. Make sure you're picking up your exotic cipher quest if you have that available, so you can get more exotic ciphers for picking up all of those weapons from the exotic archive. On top of that, make sure you're picking up your exotic engrams, which will guarantee you an exotic that you've never gotten before if you are missing exotics, and it will guarantee it with a high stat roll, which is, ooh, I think I have a good one, but you know, whatever. I'm also going to be using exotic ciphers here because I have no other use for exotic ciphers. That's another good exotic. God damn. All right, let's see what we got here. Ooh, intellect base, recovery, not a high resilience. Honestly, that's pretty good. And I know that the other one is Masterworks, but that's pretty good. How about the one-eyed mask? Can it beat this roll right here? Again, I think I have a replacement for my Masterworked item. God damn. And again, another reminder is that if you are leveling up multiple characters or multiple classes, go on your highest character to the Xur and pick up the items for the other classes that you have, and that will give them armor and a higher total power gear score thingy. Whatever. You know what I'm saying. Anyways, that is going to be the end of the Xur video. Let me know in the comments down below if any questions, concerns, tips, tricks, or if something I missed, something that's really big, let me know in the comments down below. Also, usually I have a live stream right after these Xur videos. However, this time I do not because I will just be hanging out with my family. I guess it's kind of lame, but I'm out for the weekend. But yeah, that's the end of the video. Hope you guys did enjoy. My name's Dychronic, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye,